So good evening. We are back to the study of the Spirit's book. We're still in law of freedom. We studied free will last week, and today we are going to start studying fatalism. Just as a recap, we discussed the concepts of free will, and for us in spirits, individual spirits, we start developing our free will when we first become an individual incarnated spirit on our path to evolution. We briefly touched on fatalism, on determinism last week, but before we start fatalism today, let's address the philosophical conception of fatalism and determinism. Okay, the difference according to philosophical thought. Again, you are going to find different definitions, but the definition that I think is more appropriate for us here is that determinism says that everything in your life is predetermined. The fact that you are coming here today or connecting through the internet is predetermined. There is, yes, if there is not, you cannot do anything to avoid. Everything is predetermined. So it goes against the concept of free will. Okay. Now, fatalism, what's the difference? Fatalism says that what's going to happen to you is going to happen, but the way you get there can be different. So, you are supposed to come here today to be here today. That's fatalism. But how you come here, by train, by bus, by walking, you have your choices, but you are going to end up here anyway, whatever you choose. That's fatalism. Okay? Determinism tells you that you are going to take the bus to come here today, and you are going to be here today.
Every single step is day.
Every single step is, you don't have any choice. Now, again, in Spiritism, we learn that what happens is a combination of, there is some fatalism in our lives. The fact that our physical body is going to die, it can be both a determinism and a fatalism, right? It's a guarantee. When we are born here, we begin our incarnation, the only guarantee thing that we have is that our physical body is going to die. So you can call this fatalism, right?
You call that fatalism, or you want to call it indetermination?
You can call it both.
In that specific case.
In that specific case, right? Now, when you talk about the concept in Spiritism, you have to add free will. How you get from your birth to your death, you have your free will to make your choices. And the moral choices, you have always the free will. There is nothing predetermined in your moral choices. And we're going to see on things that are going to happen in your life, there is some fatalism that can be predetermined by yourself or by spirits that are protecting you for your new reincarnation, because there are things that you have to go through. Okay, that's the fatalism in the Spiritist understanding. Okay, but we are going to see more through the questions. Okay, are we good? Any questions here or no?
I don't know, fatalism kind of sounds negative. Isn't it kind of a negative connotation? Fatal. I don't know, it's not.
So if I tell you that there is a fatalism that we all will reach the level of perfection and eternal happiness. How sad is that?
Okay, no, that's very.
And that's fatalism.
No, that's fatalism, but
Yes.
It seems to me like the word itself.
Yeah, but again, yeah, it was.
I understand what you're saying. I definitely understand.
Yeah.
But the word itself, like.
Yeah, it can have a negative connotation. It's like, when we talk about pride in spiritism, right? That one of the plagues of humanity is pride. And there is the positive aspect of pride that when we talk about the negative aspect of pride, people have some trouble dealing with the positive aspect of pride, because pride, again, it's our limitation in choice of words, right? We should have a different word for the positive aspect of pride that is important for us
Exactly.
to progress. Right?
I'll limit the language too.
Yes.
We're able to visualize. That is at least for another word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also think as part of it is social construct, right? A lot of the times the words we use.
That's what
It
it
has
is.
a connotation, specific time in history.
Yes.
And overall, if you look to the history of the world,
Yeah.
there was several transformations where people think it's more negative or positive or neutral. Right? Because- Right.
It was also.
Yeah.
It's not, you're right, it's not what you said.
Right.
Okay, Philip. 851.
Does fatalism control the events of life in the sense commonly attached to this word? Is every event in our lives predetermined? And if so, what becomes of free will? Fatalism only exists based on the choice each spirit makes to undergo a trial. By choosing that trial, you create a sort of destiny for yourself. It is the natural consequence of the situation in which you have chosen to place yourself. This is only with respect to physical trials, because in moral trials and temptations, a spirit always maintains a freedom of choice between good and evil and is always able to yield or resist. Good spirits may come to your aid when they see you falter, but cannot influence you to the extent of controlling your will. On the other hand, bad and backward spirits may trouble or alarm you by exaggerating your physical danger. However, the will of your incarnate spirit maintains its full freedom of choice.
Okay. Yeah, let's try to break this down, right? Fatalism only exists based on the choice its spirit makes to undergo a trial, right? So before incarnation, we choose, or it is chosen for us, if we cannot make it. Things that we have to go through in our life, physical challenges that we have to go through in our lives. For instance, a disease, difficulties, financial difficulties. Now, there is never fatalism in our moral choices. We have our freedom to make our moral choices. You are not going to come here to become a criminal. It's your choice to become a criminal. Okay? You are supposed to come here to work in a determined thing, to overcome an atonement, to deal with an atonement, the consequence of things we did in our past. Our free will have consequences that become fatalism in our present incarnations, okay? That we choose or is chosen for us, okay? So that's the sense of fatalism in our physical lives. So I was remembering that case of this that guy that I heard a story many years ago, that he was supposed to fly on a plane, to travel somewhere on a plane, and he missed the plane, and the plane crashed, and he didn't die on the plane. 1 week later, he died in a car accident. So he had to have a violent death at around that, again, it's not a specific date, but at around that date, and he was going to go one way or another. So that's fatalism, right? Could he have used his free will to change? Yeah, but he had to go through that experience. He didn't. You can always change your atonement through love, through a life of good work, right? Luisa and I were talking earlier today about the extension that Chico had of 20 years of his life, the extension that I'm sure Divaldo is having, that is 96 and fully functional.
I suppose so.
So this guy that died in an accident, could he have extended his physical life if he was doing a work that was much more important for him to stay here than to return to the spiritual world? Yes. Luisa gave the example of Dr. Alberto Almeida, right? That he was supposed to.
Yeah, I heard one of these lectures. He was supposed to discriminate when I think it was cousin. It was two family members that had a car accident. And because he already had Jardim das Olimpíadas, he was
It's charitable work. It was
saved. So
yeah.
saved.
So again, not even our, when we are born, we are supposed to live a certain number of years depending on our needs. We can reduce because we abuse our physical body, or we can extend if we are doing the right work. If we don't do either of them, we live a normal life, we are going to go back to the spiritual world when we are supposed, around the time we're going to suppose, the way we are going to go back. If we need to go through a disease, because it's a way to clean our very spirit, we're going to go through a disease. If we have to go in a violent death, we're going to go back in a violent death. Or we have, we are going to die a sudden death, heart attack.
So can you say that? Can I say that it may mostly related to a feeling that you have to go through in life, a feeling that you have to go through. I know that, yes, what you go through that one way or the other. I'm looking at it in sense of myself, okay? In sense of, for example, I do believe that my theme in life is addictions.
Mhm.
I suffer with all addictions. I'm a man of all addictions. You understand? So I guess that's a motif that's
Yeah.
a fatalist perspective in my life.
It's something that you carry from previous incarnations, right?
Probably. I mean,
That you have to overcome here. And that's the work. So you have to go through the temptations because you're only going to be able to overcome. Yeah. Well, it's fatalistic in the sense that your free will created. You don't become addiction by fatalism. You become addicted because of your free will.
Yeah. Okay.
In the past.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand that, but the fatalistic perspective is going through those things in order for you to.
Yes.
The trials.
The trials and yes, the challenges.
It's, for example, another thing that I look at it is that when I grew up, I did one thing for sure is that I did not want to be a specialist.
Yeah. And here you are. Yeah. And here you are.
Yeah. So the only time I'm saying, I did not think that even if your free will wants to fight it or.
There is a story
it's
of,
something you have to go through.
yeah, there is a story of Chico Xavier, right? A man that was doing a very good work in charitable assistance, who spent his whole life doing a very noble work of helping others and everything. And he had an accident and lost a finger. The accident, a finger, yeah, I don't remember which one. And then he went to Chico and asked him, listen, why I had to go through this, I think I'm doing I'm doing my part,
My good deeds.
my good deeds. And Chico said, Emmanuel is telling me here that you are supposed to lose the whole arm, but because the work that you've been doing, you only lost a finger. Yeah. So you see how you can change.
Change.
Yeah. It's an experience, a traumatic experience he had to go through, but he could alleviate it through his good work. Yeah. So the concept for us here is important for us to understand the strength of free will in our lives and the importance of free will, but there is a part of it that is fatalism.
Fatalistic.
Yeah, fatalistic. Yes, and there is no
way of escaping that.
no way of escaping. Yes. Again, we can alleviate a lot of it, right? Like Paul of Tarsus said, love covers a multitude of sins, right? What did he mean by that? Exactly that. That through love, real, pure love, the agape in Greek, you can overcome all your imperfections and your atonements, right? You can alleviate the pain of the existence. Again, as imperfect spirits, we are supposed we are supposed to go through pain, physical pain, diseases, the other types of suffering. It's part of the world we live in, right? Like I heard, that pain is mandatory, suffering is optional, right? How do we face this pain? Is our free will and our choice of how we go through it. Okay.
With the issue of the addiction, just to clarify it, the likelihood that one have chosen to be exposed to those temptations to resolve the issue of the spirit, yes. So perhaps one was had the plan to be exposed to these or that, those temptations that lead them to a probability of an addiction. But no one reincarnated with a plan of being addicted. If they're exposed to one thing.
Yeah.
And the objective is exactly to be exposed and overcome that temptation and have the willpower, the free will to overpower that temptation. And very often we don't succeed.
That's, right.
And when it comes to addiction also, there is a common denominator, right? You may be addicted to alcohol, drugs, to sex, to work.
Jam,
Shopping, yeah, but it is a common denominator that causes all those individuals to not being able to overcome those temptations. And that's common denominator that is the illness of the spirit, that we need to be exposed to those temptations to overcome them, to resolve that issue of the spirit.
Right? Page 52, Philip.
Some individuals seem to be persuaded by a fatalism that is completely independent of their actions. Is it their destiny to be unfortunate? There may be trials that those individuals are forced to endure because they have chosen them, but you often attribute to destiny what is more often than not the consequence of your own faults. In the midst of the adversities that afflict you, try to keep a pure and clear conscience, and you will be given solace for your suffering. The true or false ideas that we adopt of the things around us cause us to succeed or fail in our undertakings, depending on our character and social standing. It seems easier and less humiliating to our self-esteem to attribute our failures to fate or destiny than to our own mistakes. While spirits may sometimes influence our success, we can always free ourselves from this influence by resisting the ideas they suggest if they are misleading or bad.
Okay, so we see those individuals that everything bad happens to them. They seem to be chased by unfortunate incidents or accidents and things like that, right? What the spirits are telling us here is that many times this is maybe consequence of our own faults. That of course there are trials or atonements that we have to go through, and some are heavier than others. For some people are more difficult than others. But we never come with more than we can, with a burden larger than we can bear. Whatever we face is because we are ready to face, right? We have the ability to face and to overcome, or to learn resignation and acceptance if we cannot overcome. That's the trial, for us to learn to be patient, to have resignation and acceptance. But what we do, especially a lot of people that arrive at Spiritism and start studying Spiritism, find a very good escape, right? Blame the spirits, right? It's not my fault. I was influenced by spirits.
My obsessor.
Yeah, it's my obsessor's fault. It's not my fault, right? Which is an easy way out, right? Our obsessors are around us trying to influence us, yes. But we are the ones that listen to them and act on their guidance, let's say, right?
It's like I have a spiritual principle that I joke around. I say, the principle of reaching God and be old. What's that about? Don't take responsibility, blame others.
Yeah, but unfortunately, even going outside Spiritism, a lot of people find it very easy to blame others. Why does some churches are so successful in attracting people by telling them that you donate something and you're free of your sins?
Exactly, that's what happened in the Middle Ages.
Yes.
That's what this guy wrote and whatever.
Because we are imperfect spirits dying to find someone to solve our problems for us.
Yes.
That's our motto.
And still.
Yeah.
And still.
Yes, still, yes. Most of us are like this.
Yeah.
It's to blame others, find others to solve the problems for us. And that's why Spiritism sometimes when you study, it's so hard. Because Spiritism, it's all on you. You cannot blame the spirits, you cannot blame others. If you are going through difficulties, it's a consequence of your needs and your challenges to progress, to evolve. And it's not for everyone, right? It's hard, right?
Well, I have to, you said before that we can handle whatever comes. And that I have my questions, because I do believe that whatever tribulations you may go through, you need help. You need to ask.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So you cannot
But
do
that's
that.
part of it.
I know.
But
You can, no, you have to ask, you have to pray, not to help.
But that's also part of solving our problems, right? Or facing our difficulties. To be humble enough to ask for help and to accept the help. Because, you go back to addiction, right? You are addicted. You go there and ask for someone to help you. And the person say, okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to be by your side every day. And then after 10 days, you start to get angry at that person for small, nothing to do reasons, right? So you ask for help, but you need to be open to receive and accept the help. So it's a It's a lot of stages.
They would say, you're saying that the mere, for help is actually coming from your own, free will.
Yes. And also the asking for help needs to be sincere. You need to want to put the effort, right? André Luiz in the lower zones, beginning of Nosso Lar, he wasn't there for 8 years not asking for help. He was asking for help. He was completely lost there and he was asking for help, but it was not a sincere ask for help. It was just, I'm in trouble here. Can someone solve this problem for me? And yeah, can you take me from here to a place that I can be in peace? But you don't want to put your own effort to do the work, right? Only when you sincerely ask for help and is willing to do. The fact that you are willing to do does not guarantee that you are going to do it, because we are in perfect spirits. We're going to have our ups and downs. We're not perfect. We're not going to be able. I know I need to overcome this addiction. I'm going to make an effort. I want to overcome, but I know that I may fail, go back and have to start again. That's the road of many addicts, right?
Yeah, it's like we say, you have to walk the walk.
Yes.
Stop talking, you have to walk the walk.
But as long as you have the firm will and commitment to overcome, even when you fall down, you get up and continue your journey. That's what it's also part of the evolutionary process, right? That we have to go through.
I do believe that there are, when I go reading, I do believe that there are lessons there, at that day, at that time. And that we energize the individual to continue. Let's say I go to a meeting, let's say Friday to the hot. If I go there from system and I show up, if I come back, I say, well, I did not get the program, the program got me because I showed up.
Yeah. And again, you gave a very good example. These groups, why is it important to be in a group? Because one helped the other. You hear different stories, you see that the problem is not only yours. Of course, protecting spirits are anywhere that a group is reunited with the purpose of helping each other or helping something, the good spirits will be there. Absolutely.
And the bad spirit also in the bar.
Yeah. The bad spirits will try to prevent you from going in, but they are not allowed inside. The place is protected. Yes. Okay. Questions? All right.
853.
Yep.
Some people escape one danger only to fall prey to another, as if it were impossible for them to escape death. Is this not fatalism? Nothing is predestined in the truest sense of the word, except the time of death. When the time has come, whether in one form or another, you cannot escape. Then, regardless of whatever danger threatens us, we will not die if our time has not come. No, you will not die. There are thousands of examples of this, but when your hour has come, nothing can save you. God knows how you will leave your present life, and this is often also known by your spirit because it is revealed when you choose an existence.
Okay.
I like that.
So determinism does not exist because nothing is predestined. So the definition of determinism, that everything is supposed to happen and the way it's happened, the spirits say nothing is predestined. So in the truest sense of the word, except the time of death. And here, again, we're talking about an average individual. There are exceptions, right? So you are supposed to die when you are 82 years old. And if you live an ordinary life, you don't abuse your physical body more than necessary, you are not committed to saving the world in a sense, you're going to die when you are around 82 years old, 80, 81, 82, 83. That, you have the time of death. When the time has come, you cannot escape it. You're going to die. Now, your free will can change that one way or another. Let's say you are supposed to die when you are 82, but you decided that what you want to do is extreme sports, right? Any kind of extreme sport. You can have an accident and die, right? Were you predestined to die that? No, it was your free will that chose extreme sport. There is even a discussion that if extreme sports are a type of suicide. It's not. But it's a risk that you are taking with your life. So you are risking having an accident and shortening your life, right? But again, we will not die for now. Our time has not come. There is in a Spiritist review in 1862, there is an article dictated by the Spirit of Truth that's called, oh man, I read in Portuguese, now the word escaped me, Atelia. Yeah, how it's called, the one that covers the house, the thing that you put over the house. The cover over the house. Yeah, they put over the roof in your house, to protect the house. The word escaped me.
It's not brick.
It's not brick, no, brick is to construct. The thing that goes on top of everything. Philip, help me. Laura. Sorry?
Shingles on the roof?
Yeah.
Tar,
Sorry?
tar,
Tar.
Tar. It's not tar. Tar you cover. Then on top of it, you put something.
Shing-
Tarpaulin? A tarp?
no, you're not a tarp, because that's temporary.
Yeah.
Oh, well, some people need it all.
Aren't they permanent?
Let me go to the translator here. Sorry.
In
I
warmer
was going to go. Sorry?
In warmer climates, they put on
Tile.
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 The red tile, yes.
The red tile, yes, sorry.
Yes, I got it,
knew
yeah.
that and
I
I
see. No,
completely.
I know what you mean now.
Yeah, the tile. So there is an article called The Tile, right? That the Spirit of Truth talks about someone is all walking the street and a tile falls right him but doesn't hit him. And this individual, thank God for it, and moves on without giving a second thought, right? And then he goes on talking about fatalism and free will and things like that, right? And then he said, if he was supposed to fall on your head, he was going to fall on your head, right? But he wasn't. It wasn't your time yet. So you were not, again, if you are not risking your life, the tire is not going to hit in your head if it's not supposed to. If you're risking your life, it's a different story. So now, by the end here, the Spirit says that we also know when we have an intuition of the end of our life. Yes, if we participate in our reincarnation plan, we know how long we're going to stay here, more or less. We have an idea of how we are supposed to die, violent death, sickness, sudden death, anything. So we don't remember, of course, because it wouldn't help us in our lives, but it's there. We can have a presentiment of it, right? An idea, or it may come to us at a certain point. That's what the spirits are telling us here, right? Okay. Questions? We're good? Okay. The article on a Spiritist Review is on July 1862, if anyone wants to take a look at it.
You're saying that when you're on here, somehow we know when we're going to die.
Those that are
Are kind of participating.
participate, yes, because if you don't participate, you don't.
Because exactly, they chose it for you because you have not chosen up or whatever.
Yes, yeah. If you participate in your plan,
Then
you
will
you know,
You know it.
yes, you have an idea, yes.
You see, this makes sense. Don't it make sense?
It should.
It makes sense to me, it makes.
Spiritism should make sense, right? That's why we're here.
I guess that's what I-
Reason and
I
logic.
guess that's my stage.
Yeah,
Makes all sense to me.
okay. 8:54.
Given the inevitability of our time of death, are the precautions we take to avoid it useless? No, because those precautions are suggested to avoid any danger that threatens you. They are one of the means used to prevent death.
Yeah, again, if we are careless with our life, we are risking dying before we are supposed to die. And it's our responsibility. Again, remember, the natural law is the law of cause and consequence. If we end up dying earlier than we are supposed to die because we abused our physical body, there will be consequences in future lives for this, right? Of course, you are supposed to die when you are 82 and you lived in an unhealthy place because of life conditions or situations, and you die when you are 75. Don't really create consequences because it's more of a environmental and conditions that you live. But you're supposed to die at 82, and you start taking all risks with extreme sports, and you die when you are 45. You have consequence for that missed opportunity. The missed opportunity creates consequence. What are the consequences? It can be, each person is different, but maybe the opportunity of a new reincarnation will take longer than you were supposed to take in because you wasted a precious opportunity. Now you're going to go to the back of the line into in your new opportunity because of your behavior in your physical life. I'm just giving one example, but that's, you create consequences, right? Again, normal wear and tear that changes, a physical body, it's expected. We are in perfect spirits. Okay.
8:55?
Yep.
Why does providence make us encounter dangers that have no result? When your life is in peril, it is a warning to turn you away from wickedness and leave you better off. When you escape this danger, and while still feeling the emotion stimulated by the danger you encountered, you think according to the degree to which you are influenced by good spirits to mend your ways. If a bad spirit dominates, in using the word bad, I'm referring to the evil that is still within that spirit, you think that you will escape other dangers in the same manner, and once again, you give free rein to your passions. Through the dangers that you encounter, God reminds you of your weakness and fragility of your existence. If you examine the cause and nature of the peril you have escaped, you will see that in many cases, its consequences would have been the atonement of some fault you have committed or some duty you have neglected. God warns you to reflect upon and correct your faults.
Okay, here, let's think about some different examples, right? How many times we hear people going through serious accident, serious disease, events, altering events in their lives that really makes them change, reevaluate, change direction in their lives, right? So that's why these things happen. Some people, these things happen and they don't change. You know, you practice, again, I'm using extreme sports as an example today for many things. You have an accident, you survive, you're right back there doing it again because, you know, you like the thrill, so you didn't learn anything from it. Near-death experience, how many people come back from a near-death experience completely changed, right?
Yeah.
A very big number. You can think of Dr. Abbott Alexander, right? That wrote the book, the neuro scientist that wrote the book about it. And again, he came back because he had a mission to tell. Because of his speciality, he could convince many people that there is something else. Other people that go through near-death experience and come talking about what they saw and what they experienced, and because of that, they change their lives in positive ways, sometimes in negative ways. Again, we are perfect spirits, so sometimes we make the wrong, we reach the wrong conclusion and choose the wrong path. But the majority of cases, these traumatic experiences have a positive effect in their lives, in the way they see their lives, in the way they are going to live their lives in the future. So that's why these things happen to us, a wake-up call, so to say, right? Sometimes that we need a wake-up call to redirect our thoughts and focus on things that are important, right? Sometimes not. Sometimes people have these experiences and they end up, you know, I survived that, so death, so I can survive anything, and they start abusing even more. Again, cause and consequence. They'll face the consequences, and there will be more difficult consequences because they had an opportunity and missed the opportunity. So the responsibility increases. You have a near-death experience, you see what's out there, and you come back and you don't use it to improve your physical life and of others. You are wasting an opportunity, and you are increasing your karma because of that, because you were supposed to do something with it, right? Again, when we talk about, for instance, we have all this, what Spiritism brings to us, so many lessons, so many teachings, so many learning experiences. We're not supposed to use this only for us. We have the responsibility to share with those that want to listen. We're not here to impose truths or to try to force anyone to change their beliefs. That's not the idea. But, you know, someone asked the other day, George Lahaye, one of his lives, the person said, I have cancer. I go to treatment in a hospital surrounded by other people with cancer. How can I help them with my spiritist knowledge, right? It's a very good question, right? And George Lahaye said, the first thing is people need to want to listen what you have to say, want to be interested. If they are, you have the responsibility of sharing your knowledge of Spiritism, of, you know, not of Spiritism per se, of the eternal life, because that's what they need. But if the person they are very comfortable in their own religion, their own beliefs, and are not open to receive, they are not asking for anything, you are not going to force them to impose your beliefs, right? So that's the responsibility we all have. We have a knowledge here, right? For those that want to receive help and to listen to it, we have the responsibility, right? Okay. You're on mute, Philip.
856. Do spirits know how they will die beforehand? Based on the life they have chosen, they know they have exposed themselves to die in some particular manner rather than another, but they also see the effort they will have to put forward in order to avoid it. They know that, God willing, they will escape it.
This question is a little bit confusing, you know, and what they're trying to say is here is, do spirits know beforehand that they're going to die in difficult circumstances, and what can they do to avoid it, right? To improve their life conditions, and that's the answer that the spirits give. Based on the life they chose, they know that they have exposed themselves to die in some particular manner. Meaning, you smoke your whole life, right? You know you're risking dying of lung cancer or some cancer associated to the smoking effects, right? Based on your effort to overcome the challenges, you can make yourself less susceptible, right? If you quit early and you try to live a healthy life and everything, you may minimize the damage and may improve your chance of having a different way of dying. That's more or less what the spirits are, Kardec and the spirits are trying to say here. I don't think that the translation is exactly what.
Probably the question, you know, the spirits know how they will die beforehand, keep it a chosen path.
Yeah,
Like if this is the path.
I was going to check. Yeah, I think that the question, it's not exactly like that. Let me see if I see here, but I think in Portuguese it's more or less the same, the question. Yeah, I'm too far from it. Okay, let's leave it at that. I'll check later. Thanks, Philip.
Sorry. What's my number here? 857. There are those who brave the evils of war, fully convinced that their time has not come. Are there any grounds for this confidence? Individuals often have a premonition of their end. On the other hand, such individuals may also have a sense that their time has not come yet. This intuition is due to the action of the protective spirits who warn them to be ready to go or boost their courage when they particularly need it. It may also come to them from the intuition they have of life they have chosen, or of the mission they have accepted that they know they must fulfill.
Okay, so we're talking about the, soldiers going to war, right? Some soldiers go dreading, think that they're going to die, and there are some soldiers that truly believe that they are not going to die, that they're going to survive, that nothing bad is going to happen to them. And that's what the spirits are trying to tell us here. Some of them have the premonition that they have a sense they are going to survive, that it's not their time yet, and they may be right, they may be wrong, but they have this premonition that gives them the courage to face the battle, right? They may be inspired by spirits also, the protective spirits that are always surrounding us. We can hear them, feel their influence on us. Or again, the intuition that we have, that we know when we are going to die, and we know that our time has not come. But again, doesn't guarantee anything, right? You may have the premonition and you end up dying anyway, because it was a wrong premonition that you had, or you have you have more courage than you're trying to be brave and show to others that you are not afraid, and in reality, that's not exactly the case. You're just putting a brave face or trying to show what you are not.
Hey,
So
okay.
it is.
I can't type.
It may be the intuition. It may be the influence of spirits. It may be your own
Okay.
thoughts. Yes, Philip.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm getting messages
Oh,
for
all right.
things to do.
Okay.
Oh, next.
Next, 858.
How is it that those who have a premonition of their death generally dread it less than the others do? It is the human being and not the spirit who fears death. Individuals who have a premonition of their death view it as a spirit rather than as human beings. They understand that it will be a release to freedom and await it.
I hear many spiritists say that they don't fear death, they fear the moment of death, right?
Uh-huh.
The experience of going through the death is what they fear. The pain associated, all that comes with it, but not death itself. The natural fear of death, it's the fear of the unknown, right? Even if we know what is on the other side, we don't know where we are going, and we don't know what we are going to encounter when we get to the other side. So when you are for all of us that have moved from one place to another, when you are moving to another place, you have the natural fear, anxiety, right? Of going to a place you don't know well or you know barely. And this is, we are not changing our, not leaving our physical body. Death of the physical body, it's a big change. We are leaving the physical body behind. We're leaving everything we know here behind and moving to a different
country.
Yes. So it is natural that we have fear, anxiety, and everything. Now, the knowledge should help us be more prepared. All right. Understand that time will come. And when it comes, we are more prepared to deal with it. Right. But the fear of death is also healthy in a sense that we should try to preserve our physical body and have the best physical body we can to serve us so we can help others. Because if our physical body becomes too impaired, we have become a burden instead of being able to help others. So all of this fear of death, if it's not consuming us, right? It could be seen in a healthy way, right? Of course, those that just prefer to ignore it, they are going to face a challenge when they get there, right? But if you have we should try to build a healthy relationship with our afterlife. That's the objective.
Yeah, but I have a question. Do we reach a point in that Patty talking about anxious thing or anguish on fear, what we've known? Do we reach a point in which that all of a sudden disappears and then people kind of embrace it? Because
some people,
because I've gotten the experience that among friends that they're very fearful, and then at the very end, it's like they're embracing it. Like it was a big change. Like who talked to somebody must be talking to you out there.
Yeah, I
Because
think
there's a change.
I think Elmo that works in a hospital can talk better than me on
Do you
this.
see that in people that die there?
I think it's absolutely the way it goes very often that we have the thing for survivor, you have the law of preservation that put in us a certain fear of death plus the unknown. And until it gets a point, let's say someone with a chronic disease, they know they're gonna die, someone that know the time is coming. That comes to a point that they come to the realization, yes, the time has come, I'm ready. And they absolutely peace with that next step, that don't know that it's the death of the physical body. I've seen that very often. I see that with friends, and I see that it's in my profession. Very often see that. There is a reluctance to accept it until comes a point there is an absolute peace with that final destiny. An absolute tranquility. And some individuals who are frightened to death one day, the next day you come to them and they are absolute state of peace.
State of peace and serenity, yeah.
Yeah, again, it depends on each individual, right? But everything that we learn here should
Oh, yeah,
help us, right?
exactly.
Because we know we are eternal spirits. We don't lose our loved ones. We just go through temporary separations. And our journey continues on the other side, right?
It's sometimes I wonder, this sounds a little bit paradoxical, but I'm talking about death is an affirmation of life, an affirmation of eternal life.
Yes.
You understand? So it's paradoxical, but I can go with you on this.
You can say that death doesn't exist for the eternal spirit, right? It's just a change of
Affirmation.
yeah.
Eternity.
But because I don't die, my physical body dies, I continue. It's not that I have several lives. I have one life with different physical bodies, and I in the spiritual life and in the physical life alternate, right? But there is no death in the sense that the spirit ceases to exist. That doesn't exist, right? So once you become comfortable with this idea, you should be more comfortable with the process, right? Of course, it's the unknown. Some people fear the unknown more than others, and it is the unknown. So we are, even if we understand,
We're prone to that anxiety.
yes, if we understand that we are going to a non-solar type of place that we should all at least aim to be and hope to be, what exactly I'm going to find there, who exactly I'm going to meet there, what I'm going to be doing there, what can I do there, right? Do I have to be like Andrea Luisa and start cleaning the floor of the hospital, or can I be a little bit more, can I use my knowledge to something else? We don't know. And we are going to see when we get there. But the preparation we have in doing that is what's going to help us in this transition, should help us in the transition. Yeah. All right. So we still have many questions in this topic. We'll continue next week from 8:59. Okay. This Saturday, we have a very interesting lecture on the United States Spiritist Federation with Dr. Vicente Pessoa from the Medical Spiritist Association of Goiânia in Brazil. She's going to talk about Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. It's for those that never heard of him, he's one of the forerunners of Spiritism in Brazil. He was the president of the Brazilian Spiritist Federation in the turn of the 19th to the 20th century. He was a doctor that dedicated his life to help the poor. There are many psychographed books received by Divaldo, Chico, and what was her name? Ivone Pereira from him. A very evolved spirit that had the opportunity to move to a more evolved planet, but decided to stay here and continue working to help and assisting us here. You will find him in some of Manuel Filomeno de Miranda's books, in the Spiritual Assistance, in Chico's books also. So, I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting for those that know little or know nothing about him. Don't miss this opportunity to watch the lecture by Dr. Vicente Pessoa, who is a doctor, which also helps, on Saturday, 11 a.m. through the United States Spiritist Federation YouTube page or the International Spiritist Council YouTube page. Okay. This Sunday, third Sunday of the month, we are going to be studying the Medium's book. Last month we did the introduction. This month we are starting on chapter 1, right? So we start the real study of the Medium's book. The book club, chapter 6 of Hail Christ next week. We have 2 more meetings for this book, chapter 6 and 7. So a couple of weeks more, and we're going to finish Hail Christ, and we will announce the other book soon. Okay. Carol, can you do our final prayer?
Yes, thank you very much, John and Elmo and everyone. Thank you, Philip, for reading. Infinite Creator and Supreme Intelligence, we are grateful again to be together as brothers and sisters for our studies this evening of the Spirit's book, the topic being fatalism. Nothing is predestined except the moment of death. Your free will can change this depending on whether your actions will shorten or lengthen your life. You may have an intuition of your death if your spirit participated in the pre-planning prior to incarnation. Protective spirits may also inspire courage and positive thinking. Near-death experiences may change a person in a positive way, sort of like a wake-up call. Some may, however, miss the opportunity for the awareness and for the growth. The natural fear of death relates to the unknown. We should try to maintain a healthy body and a healthy mind. We are eternal spirits. We know that the body will die. However, the journey will continue in the spirit world. This knowledge within Spiritism is very helpful during this transition. We give thanks to our spiritual benefactors, the good spirits, for guiding and inspiring us tonight. May we receive the love, light, and peace of Christ within us, not only for us, but for our loved ones, for our directors, our counselors, our mediums, and our workers. May we pray for inner peace and especially pray for world peace, so that those in the physical and spiritual worlds may receive help, healing, comfort, and reassurance. We know that this will occur in right divine timing, but we offer our love and our light as well for all those who are in need. May we pray also for SGNY and all Spiritist centers throughout the world to grow, expand, and to be protected. As we close, we humbly ask for safety and protection as we return to family, friends, loved ones, and coworkers. May we go forth now and remind ourselves to be beacons of light, of love, of peace, and of service. So be it.